like the main issue and like the main issues that I've been having that I've been putting up to the last is the smoke. That I try to like do the little like small lines and try to transition, but the only thing that like it came naturally was the main circle points, which
Right.
pretty much travel the path.
Well, there's a couple of things. One is that this is moving backwards. See it right there?
Yeah.
So you really, truly, go ahead and stop your playback. I mean, I'll just reiterate again. It's like you come up with a really simple drawing that has the whole design of the smoke that you want. And while you're doing this, you really are thinking nodes, because there's really no other clear way to think about it. So in this example here, if I have this as the next, and you can see that I've equally spaced it here. If I have that as the next node, that means that the apparent motion is going to be in, right? And then if I put this node out here, then it's going to be out. And I'll do the same thing down here. So I'll start with a little one, we'll go super little one, medium, then I'll use this example for a bigger one, like this, this. And let's get over to this one by doing a medium one and then a real big one. And again, this is a node, this is a node. And then just by the spacing, I would use that one. And then a little mini one and a medium one and then a bigger one to get off the screen. So that's how I would plan this out, because like I said, if you're going in this direction, if you're going in this direction, and then apparently it's going to go up and over, which is fine, right? And then, so this is a big distance here. And so, and that's fine. So you plan this out so that this is drawing one. Uh-oh, I'm going to sneeze, hold on. That's what I get for having pepper with my eggs.
Bless you.
Thanks. So you plan it out, 8 drawings, right? One, and this is drawing 1. Then you can, this is about halfway. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're pretty equally spaced at that point. And then you just plan it out, drawing number 1. These are all drawing number 1. Those nodes all belong to drawing number 1. And I would not paint them in. I would not paint these in gray because you'll never be able to see how they're moving.
Yeah.
All right, does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, because the reason that I painted it is because I've been having, well, I have trouble seeing like the movement with the sketches. So for me to actually visualize it, that's why like I try to like paint them that way.
Well, you could do that, I guess, and then what you could do is you could just go ahead and do the outline, right?
Yeah.
You know, however that outline comes out, that is possible, except that this one's moving backwards. And
Yeah.
that's going to get you into trouble. So one thing that I did in a previous class was that I had the students draw like one bubble and then just move it. Hold on a second. So you draw one discrete bubble or even a series of bubbles, and then you move them. So you just like this and then you copy and paste it. You know what I mean? And then and when you're copying and pasting it, you can also translate it. You can also make it bigger. So that is one option. It gets a little confusing because as you're going down the timeline and you're copying and pasting, you don't have any relative reference to the new plumes of smoke that are coming up. And so, I mean, you can pick a different color and then try to do the outlines, and it gets a little confusing. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
It's just about copying and pasting. And then one time what I had them do is, and I like this idea of the smoke gathering sort of volume. It expands. But one time one student was really struggling, and what I had them do was draw like nodes like this. So this is one drawing. And then what I had them do is copy and paste this whole this whole lot. So I had them copy and paste it and then move it over just a little bit. And then move it over just a little bit. You had to remember that you had to stop here so that you copy and pasted all these, and then the next one is going to go here, and then here, and here, and here, and here, and here for 8 drawings. And then you've got to figure out where the new ones are coming on, you know what I mean? But that got really confusing because there was no variation in shape. It was a really hard thing to get across. It was a really hard thing to plan. The ideal thing was to go ahead and just draw it. So Chrissy just joined us. So, and that's another method right there. And so then there's one other thing I'm looking at here, and that is that I thought I suggested to you to draw this little lava stuff down below so that you can see the ridge of this caldera.
Oh yeah, that was. I'm actually gonna do the ridge a little bit up because I
Right.
just noticed that it's just one pool, like borderline, that's getting out. So the cracks that is on the sides, on both sides, is gonna be extended just a little bit over
So, but
that
do
way
the
of
same thing
wants
over
it.
here. But do the same thing on this side. If you've got if you've got a caldera over here, give a ridge over there too. It'll just look better.
Yeah.
And what else? I think that because this is the foreground, you're going to need some extra definition there. You're going to need you need to go in there and draw some rocks and some bushes and some scraggle parts and really give a lot of detail. Because it is in the foreground, you just owe it to the artist and yourself. And if you need reference, then just jump over and do some reference for what active volcanoes look like.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be like, you know, you could even do like a big rock rolling down or anything, anything. But you're going to need extra definition right there.
Oh, what did it?
Okay,
Yeah. Got it.
got it, got it. I like how we agreed on 11 o'clock and you wanted to be here at 10:30.
No, I think we agreed on 10, but then I was like, wait, are we using the same code?
All right, all right. Well, in that case, I'm a little late. I thought it was 11. Oh, you're right, 10. All right, so, oh, Kirsty disappeared.
Wait, what?
Kirsty came into the Zoom class and then she disappeared.
Oops.
All right, what else can I help you with at the moment?
I mean, I think that was a major thing. And also, I get some feedback on like the movement of the lava, please?
Yeah. Let me clear this.
Because I know at least for the caldera, it's not the best one because it was pretty much random and see if it moves. But for the flowing down, I'm not really sure.
All right, so you've got the yeah, it's not moving quite right yet. And I'm not sure if I would do this. Let me change colors. I'm not, yeah, I'm not sure I would do this. You know, I know what I know what you're thinking about it coming out of a hole. But if you wanted to do that, I think the best aesthetic would be is to have like the caldera come really far down like this in the foreground, and then in the background have this is like a big open hole here.
And kind of like flowing down that,
And so
like,
it would be flowing from like this little lip. And then I think that what you're going to need to do is going to kind of need to do the same thing with the smoke and the flag and kind of everything else that we've been doing is figure out this trajectory. Yeah, you want it to go behind that little ridge right there. That's fine. But the best way to get this to cycle, and let me just check here. Yeah, your game. So let's get this to cycle. And in order to get this to cycle, you would pick like a node that's right here and make it like flatter on the bottom. And then the node kind of goes up. And then pick another node here. And I'm doing the same thing that I did with the smoke, and that I'm planning this out in degrees by distance. And so this will be, it's easier to see, it's easier to animate. And then it goes away right here. So then you just pick. So if you know your clouds are on 8s, so you're drawing 8 drawings, right? And they're on 8s. That's a total of 64 frame cycle. You know, but you know, so whatever your numbers are.
yeah.
And then for the lava, so the smoke is going medium speed. And then this lava here, you would want to pick, do I want this to go faster or do I want it to go slower? So if you wanted it to go slower, you could do the same sort of thing where you have 8 drawings to get from this drawing 1 to this drawing 1 all the way down. So you could put this on 8s. But then, like I said in class, what you're going to have to do is, if you wanted this to go slower, you're just going to have to wait until everything is done. And then this 64 is your base factor. So that means down here in your timeline, your smoke is working. You've got all the lightning. You've got the black, the white, the black background replacements that are just going to replace this. So you don't put the black and white card over everything. You just replace the background that you've got with black, white, black each time, or in the middle of each one of these lightning strikes. And remember that I asked you to rethink the lightning because it's just a little messy.
Yeah.
And then what you do is the smoke is good. The background flash is good. The lightning is good. The bubbles are good. You know, whatever you're doing over here, maybe there's a really cool, and it's not water. It's like a giant lava splash. You know, just like we did. It's kind of ominous, right? And so you get that working. And then as soon as everything is done down here, you copy and paste every single one of these. So you highlight this whole level, you shift select it, and you go to right here, and then you copy and paste it. So now instead of 164, it's 128. And then everything is still working. And remember that once you've done this operation in your library, you're going to end up seeing that there's going to be a bunch of symbols. And that means that you can't repair anything individually. That means if there's, in the smoke layer here, if you make an adjustment to this frame right here in the smoke layer, it will automatically be adjusted to the copy and paste. This goes back to the idea that Toon Boom is kind of copying Flash as a production tool. And
Yeah.
symbols are just are ways of keeping track of all your elements. It's actually a really fast way to work. Once you've got that done, then you go and you make a lava layer. And in the lava layer, you put these guys moving on 8 drawings, but instead of 8, you put them on 16 frames, like holding. So that means that the first lava would be right here, and that's holding all the way to here. And it's moving really slowly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to, you could do the opposite, where you say, I'm not really interested in making this too cinematic and taking it out to over 5 seconds. Is that maybe you wanted the lava to be faster, and lava can be fast. And so in that instance, you do 8 drawings on 4s, and then you don't have to do this. Then you can just put the lava in drawing number 1, and you're going to have 8 drawings here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're going to be on 4s. So each one of those is just going to be right here. So that's another way of planning it out. How's your other, have you been thinking about your tornado yet? Or are you still doing this?
I really haven't thought about the tornado right now.
Okay. So a couple of things that are looking okay. I like the colors in this background back here, going from this deep burgundy to brown. That's kind of ominous. I like it. So all of this is working. The art direction is looking pretty good. Just get that smoke working.
Got it. Will do. Yeah, I think those.
Something is moving right here. What's moving right there? See it? Right there. Right there.
Might be. One second.
Yeah, clean that up.
Yeah, I need a lot of cleaning, especially for this.
All right, so if you want, I can share my screen with you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to.
Better?
So go ahead and stop sharing. You got a Mickey Mouse blanket on?
Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh yeah. I was doing this thing where one of my storyboard artists, my storyboard students, had made a comment that I'd never heard before. And I have it written down. I have to find it here. They had said that in the particular drawing of a character that they were doing, I don't know where I put it. What they had mentioned was that they had done a Pixar smile, and I'd never heard that before. I'm like, what? And I couldn't find a reference for it. And then there was also another reference for Warner Brothers eyes. And so there's a whole bunch of these weird little things here. I wrote it down. I forget where I put it. So yeah, those you could tell it's Mickey Mouse just by Mickey's eyes. All right, so let me share with you here. I'm turning my Harmony on. All right, so I was trying to show all of you how to get elements to move across the stage. And it was really kind of interesting because the there were a couple of tutorials I found online, and one of them, the first tutorial, it was not the one I wanted. The second tutorial was not the one I wanted. The third one was close, but it was very strange. It was like they were doing some other operation. It's almost like they had said they were going to do a demonstration video, and then when they put it up on the Toon Boom website or YouTube or wherever it was living, they gave it a very strange name, and it was nowhere even close to what I wanted. Then I found the one I wanted, and the woman who was doing it was going way too fast, because it was like, oh yeah, this is what I want, and I copied the URL to the demonstration that she was doing, and I was going to post that in the classroom, but it was like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody go so fast. In fact, I believe she was going so fast that she forgot to tell the students what, or the viewers, what tool she was using. I was like, oh my God, forget it. All right, so in your volcano, let's say that you wanted to get some clouds to move across the background. And so the first thing that you would do is, and I'm gonna open up a new layer here. Just give yourself a new drawing layer, and it's going to be vector. You just say add and close. And in this drawing layer here, I'm just going to draw a cloud. So with my pencil, I'm just going to draw a cloud, just like I did the other ones there. All right. So, and let me remember how to do this. All right, so I've done this a couple of different ways. And I'm just gonna show you the easiest one, if that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna hold, so it's gonna end up looking like this, right? That's how they're moving. All right, so this guy is just a cloud. He's just on one particular layer. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to hit F7 on my keyboard. No, it's not working. Hold on. I'm just going to, it is working. So insert keyframe is F6. So I'm just going to do that for F6. And I'm going to go out to the end here, and I'm going to hit F5 to increase the exposure all the way down. Then I'm going to highlight this whole entire level right here. And then I'm going to hit this little key right here, which is set motion keyframe. And then I'm going to take this guy with the motion tool added. See that this is my transformation tool, and the little moving guy have to both be selected. Then I'm going to grab him and I'm going to move him. And as soon as I do that, you're going to see that there's now a line that goes all the way across the timeline. So you set the keyframe here by just hitting F6 on the keyboard or right-clicking and just saying insert keyframe. And then you increase the exposure all the way out to the end, right? And then you hit this key right here, which is, come on, Toon Boom. Toon Boom, set motion keyframe. And as soon as you do that, you'll get an in-between line. This is just in-betweening from one position to another. And so you can see now it's moving. Now the cool thing about this is if you go to the first keyframe and you still have these two tools selected, you grab it and you can remove it. You can move it all the way over off, but it's like you move it off the stage even. And then you go to the end one and you take this guy and you move it all the way off the stage. Now it's going to move really fast, right? But if you wanted it to move really slow, let's say you wanted to just move like really, really ominously slow. So then you take this one and then you move this one. Now I'm moving these independently. And now remember too that there are other tools in here like skew and rotate and scale, and there's all kinds of other tools. So, and there's also a pivot in there somewhere. And for some reason, the pivot is over here. If you wanted to fix the pivot position, I believe you have to use this tool. And then it gives you the actual pivot, but you can't do it now because you've got 2 keyframes. You'd have to fix the pivot position before you move the first drawing. All right, so, and because I didn't move this correctly, it's gonna move down a little bit. So take a look at, so see how it's moving really slowly now? All right, so then the other thing here, so let's say that you wanna see how it's actually moving. You go View, Show, and Control. And then when you do that, you're gonna see that you can see the trajectory. So this was my first keyframe and this is the second keyframe. I'm gonna move this one down here, right? So I'm actually moving this one. So you can see where it's actually moving. So what I had done there is this moves the pivot point. Let's say that you wanted this to move just completely, perfectly straight across the stage. So you can just grab this and make sure that that trajectory is nice and flat. You understand? And then you can go this one, and check it again, and it's going to move straight across that path. Now each one of these little tick marks is a frame here. It's a frame that's already in your timeline. So if you wanted to take this guy here and make it really, really, really slow, then you can move it right here and see how the little lines are being compressed. And now when you play it,
Yeah.
it's just gonna move really, really slow. All right, interesting idea. So here's one more thing I'm gonna throw at you. For this ending one, just for temporarily, I'm gonna move it way out here. For this one, I'm gonna move it way out here, like this. And then I'm going to shift select the entire timeline for this. And I'm going to use this tool right here, which is Set Ease Parameters. And I'm going to get this little graph tool here. I'm going to take this little red arrow, I'm going to move it like this, so that now it's going to ease into this motion, and I'm going to say Apply, and I'm going to close. And when you do that, you can see that the little hash marks are speeding up. So now the cloud is going to move slow at first, and then it's going to speed up, watch. So there's a couple of really great controls in there.